guys. This is Ashley and Ress back for another episode of She Wolf Alchemy. Today, we're going to be talking about romance.
Yes, so with romance, we're talking about intimacy, wanting to re-enter the dating world, wanting romance openly, and not feeling the need to shy away from that. So when we are talking about romance, let's just get a quick, broad definition.
Yeah, so in prep for this, I looked up the definition. And what I came across is a feeling of excitement and mystery associated with love. I like that definition.
I do too.
When I think about the feeling of or the desire for romance, I think about wanting to be wooed, wanting to feel special and swept up in, a moment, a time, in a, just that emphasis. And one definition I was given was, intimate, focused attention. And I really like that.
Focused attention. I like that. I like that a lot too. We kind of talked about this last week. Like last week, we were recording our episode and I was like, okay, let's not do no more heavy topics. I mean, we need to talk about something like, I just feel like it's heavy. And you're like, I'm in the mood for romance. And then we had this like conversation about it and we like giggled through it because we're like, I don't know. It kind of like almost felt silly to say at our big age to be like, I'm in a mood for romance. But then it was like, no, for real, I'm in a mood for romance. And I want to be able to say that out loud. And I want it to come. Universe, bring it now. I want it to be brought. And I don't want to downplay it.
Yeah. And it makes me, I think I started kind of thinking, there was like a TikTok that was going around that was talking about romance and was just saying like being unapologetic in that way of just like, no, I want a deep kiss. I want, to look into somebody's eyes, all this stuff that we think of as, like you said, like corny or like something that is just like, oh, that's silly. That's something like you dream of and no one really gets that. And why not?
Yeah. Look, let me tell you real quickly. I love me a romantically corny dude. I really, really do. I just, maybe out in the world, it's not how he presents himself, but I love a romantically corny dude. And like, I grew up with my dad being a lot of things, but he was very romantic towards my mom. And I grew up seeing that. I grew up seeing my dad buy my mom a house as an anniversary gift. I grew up seeing my dad. I know. That's my expectation. Okay. Y'all can't see Ashley's face, but I said that and she was like, okay, so let's tone it back down on unrealistic. Let's have a sidebar real quick. Did I ever tell you what my dream like proposal was when I was like 18? Me and like my group of friends when we were like freshmen, all were like, okay, we're gonna tell each other our dream proposal. So if we meet our husbands, one of them could pull them to the side and be like, hey, please don't do this at the stadium. She doesn't even like football. Mm-hmm. What she wants is blank, 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 blank.
Okay.
So we all went around telling ours. And I had the person that was like my best friend at the time. Theirs was like very simple. Like they wanted to wake up in the morning and like their partner not be there. And they get out of bed and they put on their slipper and they felt something. And they looked and it was a ring in their slipper. Like, and for them, they're like, that is my dream proposal. Mm-hmm. Like I want to be just going around my day. Something very simple. Another girlfriend of mine, her dream proposal was on a beach, something intimate, just them. And then came mine, and everybody told me I was ridiculous. And they wanted a backup plan one because they didn't know what to tell this man. And he's like, yeah, I'm going to propose to Ress. So my dream proposal, which it's still low-key my dream proposal. Okay, don't. I'm saying.
I'm waiting on it.
My dream proposal was that me and my partner would be like trying to go somewhere, like going out to dinner or somewhere. We had to dress up. We were meeting friends and stuff. And they would say something like, oh, we got to go to, Johnny's house. They just bought a new house and they've been wanting us to see it. We're going to meet them over there and we're going to leave from there. And then we'll go to the house and we're walking around this big, beautiful house. And I'm just like, oh my gosh, it's so beautiful. And I'm like, oh my gosh, this is like my dream bathroom. Look, they got the little closet. Oh, this is great. Oh, where's Johnny and them? let me congratulate you. And I'll turn around and he'd be on a knee with a ring and also the house.
And the key to the house. Okay.
Come on. I'm 19 years old in Cincinnati telling this to my friends, and they're like stressing. Like, so, okay, if this 21-year-old man can't afford the house, what do we tell him next? Russ.
Weep on a very fancy.
Tell him to manifest. That's what my dream proposal is.
That is so funny. That is a level that I have not considered. And that is fabulous. But see, and so I'm more of the, I don't need much kind of person, but I'm getting out of that. Of the, I don't need all this and that from somebody. Just give me a simple blah. Just spend some time with me to like, no, I want some grand gestures, Yeah. And so when I hear other people's vision, I'm like, fast. You're that big.
Your face when I said mine, you were just kind of like, okay. I just feel like we need to discuss this. But no, I think I'm not expecting that to happen. That is my dream.
It's your dream, and it's okay to have dreams. Absolutely.
It's okay to have dreams. But I think I will say though, because I did grow up seeing grand gestures on a regular basis, my dad was just extremely romantic guy. I'm used to coming home, my mom has flowers. I'm used to, seeing that. And so I feel like I really appreciate small things. Mm-hmm. Like really, really small things. I remember I had a partner who I dated who like figured out when I was on my period, just by my mood. And like, he could just tell like, 3 days in a row, you've been mad. So, and he would come over. And then when we were living together, he would just come home with Dr. Pepper, some Reese's peanut butter cups, and he would like cook dinner and like say nothing, just put him on the bed or put him on my desk, give me a kiss on the cheek, and like, I'm about to go start dinner. And did that for our entire relationship, like from like 6 months in until we broke up. And it was simple, like Dr. Pepper, Reese's, that's all of what, $3? Mm-hmm. But it made my day like, the consideration.
Yeah.
I think consideration is just so incredibly romantic.
Absolutely. Absolutely. And that's so kind and so intimate. I'm just thinking about like,
Yeah.
And the small things. And I like when I was first telling you this, like, I want to be booed and da-da-da. And so, I'm thinking I might start dating again. And then you're like, has it ever actually? I'm like, no, dating has not. It has not consistently led to romance is more of what I should say. Yeah. There have been times I may have come across that person who may be more, into doing those types of gestures. And that wasn't, and we didn't vibe in some other way, that person who sent flowers. And it was one of those things that I was like, I'm not a girl that likes flowers. And then the first time somebody bought me flowers, I was like, oh my gosh. And I was like, yes, this, I like this. And, when I see stuff like I'm at the grocery store and, they're on sale, I bought like some purple roses last week for like $7. Like there is no excuse for not buying flowers. If you are trying to court or woo or, make somebody feel special and that they're like ours. There's no excuse you can't get them. So they're at the grocery store. Anyway, but yes.
Well, and here's the thing. I think sometimes people hear romance and we do think grand gestures and we do think things like, okay, flowers or whatever. But like also, again, going back to what I said earlier, where I was just like, consideration is so romantic. Mm-hmm. Like, I know my love language is quality time and acts of service. If I can spend long extended periods of time with you and I enjoy myself, like that's just so amazing because I love to isolate. Like I do so well by myself. So if I'm with you and then I'm like, I can't get enough of being with you, like And then not only that, while I'm with you, again, it's quality time. Like it is not just we in the same room. Like we are actually actively engaging purposefully in a meaningful manner. But those are things that you can do that are like also hella romantic. Like it can be these smaller things as well. Like I would very much like someone to take out my trash for me right now. Like I don't like doing it. My Fridays are my late days, so that I don't have to get up early, but I do because I gotta take out the damn trash. I mean, I could take my bonnet off, but do I really want to? Because it's 6 o'clock in the morning. Like, come take out my trash. Oh my gosh, that's so romantic. Thank you for making my life easier. That was so sweet of you to make my life easier for no other reason than you love me. I appreciate that.
So gestures, like, I feel like they set a tone, you know, where it can be an ongoing thing. Cause that is also what I think of when I think of romance. I think of like the things that we do to set a tone. This is special. You are special. This is, you know, you're worth this extra effort. Our relationship is worth this extra effort. And thinking about little things, I'm like, I can think of things that I've done in an effort to create romance in relationships that I've been in, and Lord have mercy, I feel like it just got swatted. Or things, or you know, those kind gestures, because romance can be given to men as well. It's not just, you know, women being doing sweet things. Like one of my exes, I used to write him just cards. I don't know, if I was like at the store, I go over to the card section, find, you know, a cute little one and write, oh, some love note or whatever in there. And I gave him those all the time, not just the holidays, just because whatever. He liked them. He'd write them back. They'd be nice. It would be, you know, that was the time when it did work. But little things like that, buying somebody's favorite candy for them, you know, planning time. When I was thinking about this, I was thinking about one of my exes that I like. It was like some big game was on. I don't care about the sport things, but if that's your thing, I will try to support that. And I was like, okay. And I had like rearranged stuff. I went and got like his favorite this from this place and his favorite that from that place, and like got everything. And like I didn't have like cable, like, or did whatever I had to have this all set up so he could come over and we could hang out and he could watch his game and have all his favorite freaking things. And that was like my, you know, this is my gesture because you are my person and you're special and I love you. And that man was late getting there. He was like, oh, I already ate before I came. Like just all this stuff that just like foiled my plan and just made me feel like my efforts didn't matter. What the heck was the point? I guess just an example of attempted to set a tone to bring some, you know, special surprise, some nuance to a relationship.
Yeah, I mean, I think that is some of it, though, is understand just because you bring romance, it doesn't necessarily mean the other person will pick up on like, oh, this is what you want. So I'm also going to step up and do this romance thing. For all you know, you set the tone for what they expect from you, and that's about it. I will say, though, I agree with you when you were saying, like, ladies, also, it's important for us to be romantic as well, because I think we think romance and we automatically assume women. But, like, I love when I get to that comfortable spot in a relationship where I can be corny and I can be like, I can be corny romantic as well. I think for me, like, just little shit. If I'm out and about at Little 5 Points, I see something that I know he talked about, that I know he likes and stuff, I would just be like, oh, I know he likes this. I know he's been looking. I just get it. And it's not like, and I'm gonna save it for Christmas. It was like, no, it's there. I have the money to get it. I think that also goes back to that whole consideration thing. I think most of mine actually is gonna go back. I love the big grand type things as well. And the appropriate measures, like don't do anything grand in front of the public with me, because grand in our living room, like that's I want grand between maybe one or two friends. But really consideration to me is just I love that. I love that.
I thought about you. I think about when you're not around, and you know how you know, because you weren't there when I saw this. And so I got it. And
I pay attention to your thoughts and your wants and your needs. That's how I knew to get this, because when you was talking about it, I was listening. I wasn't sitting near you. I was actively engaging in this conversation.
This also brings home the point of like intention, though, because you can do a gesture that you perceive to be, I guess you kind of said that in a way, like you can do a gesture that you perceive to be romantic, but if you are not connected enough with that person to like, or if you don't take the time to give the special consideration of that person, to give them what they would consider romantic, because someone having a grand gesture towards me in front of a bunch of people is not the move. Like that would be terrible. And hopefully someone who knows me would know better than to. And so if someone was to just like force some public display upon me, and for them it may be like, but I was being, like that would make me feel so unseen, so invalidated, like should I say yes? Like, so I propose to you in a way that is so horrible that you're just like, I don't know that I thought we were good up until this point. This makes me feel like you haven't even been listening, here.
How did 1 + 2 = 4 to you? Where did you get 4 from? No, I agree with that. But also, as all podcasts and blogs that talk about mental health in any way is going to say, it all comes down to communication. Like, you have to communicate. I remember my homeboy, this was years ago, was dating this girl, and she had asked him, she sent him the link to do one of those, like, what is my love language? Like, she sent him the quiz to do it and everything. And he was like, she's sending out homework, and and I was like, well, what's so bad about it? And he was just like, it's 30 questions. And I just like, why can't we just know? Why can't we find out what each other's love language is? And I'm like, okay, so this is why she's sending this, because she can stop the bullshit right now. Why waste my time trying to find out if I know ahead of time you don't love in a way I like to be loved. I don't love in the way you like to be loved. I really don't want to switch it up for you. You don't really want to switch it up for me. Why waste time? But not only that, I feel like, will you really learn? Because here she is giving you a direct link to like, this is what it is, and you're refusing it. So how much different is it from her having a conversation with you and being like, okay, I want to know your love language. You didn't know this term before. Now she got to break down all the things that would have been broken down in the damn quiz.
It's a prompt for connection. Even by her sending it, it's a prompt to say, hey, here's something that we could, explore together. And for some people that is, romantic. Hey, here's an experience that we can have here. Here's something that we can explore. It's a prompt for connection. Hey, do this thing with me. So for somebody's immediate reaction to be, it's like, okay, well,
send me your birth chart and tell me why I shouldn't be concerned about why you have Venus and Scorpio. Break that down to me on why I should not be concerned and why I should overlook that. Connect. That's how I want to be connected.
So re-entering dating from coming out of, I know, these thoughts about having romance, like I was saying earlier, I feel like I'm coming from a space of being that girl who felt like I really didn't need so much attention or really much of anything from somebody, which is just absurd. It's funny to me now, but I think I'm sure there are more women who have that feeling as well. Yes, there are those who have always been like, oh no, I have known I am deserving of grand gestures and homes and whatnot. And then there are some others we've like downplayed it. Like, I'm not that kind of girl. I don't need much, blah, blah, blah. But after coming out of, my healing season of taking time to focus on self-love and what that actually means and looks like, on the one that leads to self-love is not a replacement for wanting romantic love or partnership.
Yeah.
We can't self-love our way out of wanting that connection with another person. It's not the same thing. Self-love is beautiful, but the purpose of it, I believe, is to take care of yourself, to try to be that best version of yourself, and then be able to present that version of yourself to someone and partner with someone in that way. But it comes from a different energy than when you're not taking care of you.
Yeah.
So re-entering dating from a more healed space and thinking about, I think that's what makes me be like, no, I deserve the romance. I deserve to be swept off my feet. I deserve, I'm worth that effort
Yeah.
from another person, even if I do use my self-love as an example, heck, I do a lot of things for myself just because I love me and want to make myself happy. I don't see why I can't have that expectation of another person, someone who wants to be with me. I don't see why not.
Fully want everyone, men, women, everyone. Stop convincing yourself you can do with less. Yes, you're right. You can. But if you out here and you choosing, why not? Why not be like, you know what? I want romance. So yeah, I'm going to ask for romance. You do not have to make your needs and your wants smaller for relationships and for love. I feel like something I like to say a lot to my clients when I'm working is it's never a matter of am I lovable? It's a matter of am I loving the wrong people? And do I have the wrong people loving me? You don't have to make yourself smile. You don't have to make your needs smile. You don't have to do without something that you actually really want. And there's times and periods I'm like, well, yes, we have to do without here and there. But overall themes of doing without being a whole relationship, you don't have to. If you want romance, you can have romance. But also speak up. Because also I feel like when I talk to folks, they're like, well, I feel silly saying that to him after 2 years. Or I feel, you just can't ask her that. Like, why not? Why not?
Yeah. Or you just want them to think of it. You should just come to this conclusion on their own. I don't see why I should have to say anything. And it's like, well, they haven't. So we can prompt, we can let them know, hey, this is something that I would like. Can we talk about that?
Yeah.
The video that I mentioned earlier, the TikTok that I saw about like being a hopeless romantic, that was one of the points that she made. And that was like, life is practical. Like we do all of these practical, logistical things anyway. Like, why can't love, like if we're good, especially if we're good, bills are paid, nobody's starving, like we got a roof over our head. Why can't we expand upon our love and take the time for these extra romantic gestures? Like you have to go to work and do this. Like we have everything else has to be very like logistical and practical. And why does love have to be?
I do think there needs to be some practicality in romance. I have seen gotten pure emotional people in them and it looks dangerous. But I agree. I believe romance doesn't necessarily have to be practical. I will say, so since you brought up the topic, I have been thinking about it consciously and more. Because I think when you first brought it up to me, I was just like, yeah, I don't have anything to say on that. Like, because we were talking about like when, you're like currently, and I was like, I don't know how I feel about that currently. But then I started thinking on it more and allow myself to just like dive in those feelings of romance. And it made me have to ask myself a couple of questions, like, why is this a thing I have to consciously like think of? I think it was something I always just reserved for relationships. So when you brought up the idea of providing yourself romance in the meantime while being single, I was just like, is that not just binge shopping? Like, I don't know. That's how I show myself love when I'm single. But you really made me think about it. I was like, okay, you're right. Because I am in a romantic mood. I'm in an extremely romantic mood. I'm in a mood to be lovey-dovey and just Destiny's Child cater you like mood. And I actually like being in that zone too. That was something I did not expect. I was like, okay, now that I'm like, okay, why don't I feel this way? Why don't I consciously make this effort? Now I'm in here. I'm thinking I'm going to hate it. I'm like, oh no, this is cool to think about all the sweet stuff, just nice stuff that can be done for another human being. That's amazing feeling.
And nice stuff that you could receive. From a human being.
For sure. So, okay, how do you incorporate romance into your life?
So as a single person, I think, again, when you think of setting the tone, the things that make things that extra special kind of surprise experience, whatever. So taking the time to do those extra little things, even for yourself, I think, when you're at, I keep bringing up the flowers because it's just so simple, if you're a person who likes that. But when you're at the store and you see that little thing that you're just like, you know what, this would just brighten my mood. This would just make me feel, to look at this or to have this would just, and you go ahead and get that thing for yourself. It's okay to do stuff, little things like that. Taking that time, even with your meals, going to your favorite restaurant or even just at home. And this also, of course, goes to self-care too, but even just at home, if you're making a meal at home, taking that time to make it an extra special meal.
Yeah.
I'll use the example. I know this past weekend, like I took the time to like Saturday night, make sure I had me like a bottle of champagne because I was like, you know what, tomorrow morning, I want to like make myself brunch and have mimosas at home. And it was fabulous. Had my music going, made me, a good breakfast, had my mimosas, had me a fabulous time. And had also the thought, because again, like we said, it's not a replacement for wanting romantic love, but had the thought of like, this would be a nice vibe with a partner, with another person here with me. But it didn't diminish what I was enjoying of just like, yeah, because this is a good vibe and somebody should get in on it. It's really more so how I felt, But taking those time to do those little extra special things for yourself, whether that's, adding the special oil to your bubble bath. If there's, and I think, and maybe this is too corny, but if there is something you've thought about that you're just like, it would be nice if someone would do this for me, and you can find a way to maybe incorporate that in your day, try, There's even the idea of like, people say like, planning things for yourself, planning that trip, going that extra mile, for yourself to get the nicer room, take that photo with that beautiful scenery, those little things that for you would give you that extra push to just make it extra special for you. I think, having that room as a single or a partner person, it's taking that extra step to do that extra thing.
Yeah. No, I agree with you. I know your things is flowers. My things are all over the place. But I know one of the things that I started doing in like 2020 to provide myself, I guess, with romance was to take myself on trips. Because I was like, I feel like traveling again. I don't feel like waiting for anybody, partner or friend, to have their schedule ready. If they can, cool. If they can't. And allowing myself to go there and still doing the things I wanted to do. Like I didn't go there and stay in a hotel or the Airbnb. I went there and I went to the beach and I went and rented bikes and rode around the boardwalk. I went to the restaurant that I wanted to go to. Like really, like, no, this is me showing me appreciation. This is me showing me intimate focus. And really enjoyed it. I really, my May 2021 trip was probably one of my favorite vacations of all time. And that was me by myself. And I enjoyed it. And I did all the stuff I wanted to do without feeling silly or anything like that. And just being like, no, I'm going to this restaurant because I said if I came here, I was going to eat here.
I'm just thinking about it like, yeah, just doing those little extra, just doing those little extra things. I think for me, I like to take in a good scenery. So I'm like, things that are, appealing to my visual senses and my taste buds. So
yes. We both enjoy a good meal.
Yeah, absolutely.
There's always money for meals. I don't know what y'all doing, but there's always money for meals.
Oh, yeah, that was another thing I was saying. Even, when we talk about setting a tone or doing these extra special things, it doesn't always have to be costly, That's why I said it's taking the time for those extra things of even with a partner to say, let's go for a walk. Nothing, to find a pretty park somewhere and go for a long walk. The sun always come up and set, and there's some gorgeous sunsets around here or wherever you live, and you could go see those. There are things that you could see, just the focus.
Okay, now let's switch to relationships or with potential romantic partners. how can we incorporate romance more? I first would say by learning what your partner thinks is romance. I know people think like, no, I just want to surprise them. I just want to blah, blah, blah. But like, and that's cool too sometimes. But like, if you could just ask or have other means of doing it. The girl got 15,000 pictures on Instagram. There's one of her holding flowers saying, oh my gosh, oh my gosh. Like, ooh, she likes flowers. But trying to figure out what they find romantic, because kind of like we talked about earlier, like if you take me to a large game, basketball game, and have them put the spotlight on me to ask me anything, I will not find that romantic. It's going to be a very awkward ride home. It's going to be a long conversation at the house. Like, it's not romantic. I would not think about that in romantic. I'd be confused, kind of like you said. I'd be confused what relationship you've been in that you were like, Russ will love this.
Who are you?
Look, Tamia, there's a stranger in my house because he wouldn't hold me like this. He wouldn't.
Right.
To find out what they actually think is romantic.
You don't want to spin your wheels either, you know?
Oh yeah. I remember, I feel like I told this story before on here, but I remember like one of my like also dream dates. I have dream dates. One of my dream dates that I still have not happened, by the way, was
everybody write out your dream because I am not dreaming big enough over here. Okay, go ahead.
Oh. You playing with dreams? Me and dreams are like this. Anyhow, me and all these active ass dreams. But my dream date was to go on a picnic date. Like I always really, really wanted to go on a picnic date. And like at first time I realized this, I was watching some movie. I can't remember what it was now, but it was some movie, you know, they had the blanket and they had the wicker basket and they had the wine and they had their books and they just kind of ate and laid on each other and then talked and then they drank the wine. And so like it feels were good. And I was just like, I want to eat and drink wine on the grass when the feels are good. And the guy I was dating at the time, I remember talking to him about it. Like I saw this movie, I was like, that was the most romantic scene, blah, 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 blah. And either that day or a little bit later, he was like, okay, you know, we're going to go on a date night this weekend. I was like, I really want a picnic date. And I was like, I really want a picnic date. Not have to be expensive. I was like, you can go to Subway and get the sandwiches and get some chips. I was like, go to the liquor store, get some wines. I'll bring a book. You bring a book. You bring a blanket. We'll get what is basically now the charcuterie board, but we didn't call it that back then. Get the cheeses, the grapes, all that. It'll be good. And he was like, okay. Do you know this man then took me to this like really expensive restaurant, which I appreciate it. Food was good. We had fun and so forth. And then I did not bring it up to him, but definitely when he was like, I'm just teasing, you know, you're gonna have your heels on tonight. I'm gonna have on my blah, blah, blah. And I was like, okay. I was like, why am I having heels? And he was like, oh, okay, because, you know, and blah, blah, blah. I'm taking you here. I was going to try to have as a surprise. But yeah. And I remember just being kind of like, all right, so yeah, we had fun though. We did have fun, but it was one of those, like, I told you exactly what. And I just want to say, I have told a couple people that I want a fucking picnic date. I still ain't got my damn picnic date. Still ain't have my damn picnic date. So, universe, did you get it together? This is supposed to be the year of y'all getting things together for me.
And aligning it up.
Where is my house with my emerald cut ring and my picnic date? I'm sorry. I'm sorry. I got the full moon. I felt like I should just be speaking with intent. I got a little too passionate. I apologize.
It's okay. But that is a sweet date. I've had a picnic date before and it was nice. And that's like literally the only time that happened. And that was the time when we were all young and broke. But it brought out his creativity and I appreciated that. And we had lots of fun, creative dates during that time period.
Broke period is creative as fuck. Yeah, that's one thing. Broke period is crazy as fuck. I feel like once people start getting to the financially secure place, it is great. Straight up, like, yes, let's go to Australia. But sometimes I feel like the creativity sometimes goes away.
Mhm.
And then you just start being like, oh, all the rappers bought their girlfriend a G-Wagon. G-Wagon. Like, I'm
Exactly.
trying to save the environment. Why would you buy me a G-Wagon?
Right. Where people just buy things because they're expensive. Like you used the example of like your dad was very romantic towards your mom. Like I remember seeing things like my mom in her marriage, her husband would do stuff like buy. I felt like that was how he gifted. He would buy expensive things or big things, but it wasn't my place to judge what was going on. But it felt like they weren't thoughtful gifts, like they weren't considerate gifts. And it always just felt like because he had the money to buy her, but it just would never be specific. And so maybe she, liked getting all those things. But I remember that's how I used to think of it around the holidays or Christmas time when there was time he didn't even bother to wrap her a gift. I'm like, like, the extra mile to do versus, and she is someone who does take the time to do the gestures out of love. Like, but she's more of the kind of like the everyday caretaker. Like, I ironed all your shirts for the week. You had your lunch made for everything. You had your bed. Like, that's how she like shows love. Like, I take care. I do all of these
acts of service.
Right. Yeah, that's very much how she shows her love. And like that's her thing. So even when it comes to like buying stuff for her, but when she bought you something,
it was based on your personality, things that she saw you took interest in, things that you like, things that you need, things that you Sidebar, off topic. Let me ask you, do you believe in soulmates while we're on the topic of romance?
Oh, good. No, not in the way that I think have learned about it. Like I've never really believed in like a one for one. I think that, well, I say if we think of a soulmate as someone who helps your soul grow, like if I think of relationships as this sort of growth process or whatever, then I think you can have multiple soulmates. That's why I say I don't believe in like a one for one. I don't necessarily even believe your soulmate has to be your partner. I just if that concept exists.
What about karmic mates?
Isn't that like your person that's supposed to come and like make you pay for all your sins or something? What's your karmic?
This is not Catholic school.
No, I know. I mean, like, did you realize, like, because there's some type of relation where like the person is literally like meant to like reflect your whatever, kind of push you to learn.
Somebody that you have a like past life relationship with, and your only purpose in this life is you running back into each other to work on something, but that's not your person. Y'all just coming back and doing a little bit more work from wherever y'all left off last time. Maybe you were my karmic person last time and I killed you last time. Our whole relationship could be based on the fact that I need to have more patience. I need to understand like karmic debt basically with these people, but these people are more lessons. These are people that are meant to come in your life, but they're only meant to come in your life as lessons.
Right, because they may have, or you may have wronged them in a previous life.
Yes, but also because there is a book I'm actually reading right now.
You have unfinished business, or is it usually because of the wrong?
It's a couple things. So there is a book I'm reading now called "You Were Born Again to Be Together," and it's about, and I find it like incredibly romantic so far. I haven't finished it, so like if one of these stories go left, you buy the book. I'm only on page 80 something, okay? But it's about a guy who is a hypnotherapist, and he started a hypnotherapy agency like the 70s in Arizona. And then he went around teaching other people how to do past life regression, blah, 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 blah. And he does different books. He has different books on the topic in general from studies that he's had from clients, sessions, lessons and stuff that he's given. And so this particular book, though, it is about some of the clients, and he makes it very clear. He was like, this is not even 10%. But some of his clients that come back and they do a past life regression session with him, and they find that they were connected to like their partner in multiple lives. And now y'all come into his life with these old life issues as well. But also, biggest point, you're there to work out karma.
On some some of them I'm listening, I'm like, gosh, that sounds terrible. Like, I don't want to think that I'm stuck in some eternal loop with people.
But I don't think it's an eternal loop. You learn your lesson and you go.
I mean,
like once you learn your lesson, you go.
yeah. And yeah, and that's what I hope I have done in this life. I hope that is what this life is about, learning our lessons and moving on, because the thought of that,
but they weren't all bad. Some of them were good.
I'm sure. I guess if it's like the debate between like your free will and your destiny or whatever, and it's kind of like this, like, do you actually have it? I believe there's an order to things and a greater plan of all things. I still have that part of me that likes to feel like I have as much free will as I can. So even having something like, oh, here's your mate and they're gonna be the person who blah, it is written. It's like, so what the heck I'm supposed to do until then? What kind of bull? Like, that's to me.
What did you mean? Why did y'all tell me he wasn't coming to 31?
And well, heck, what about this person I love over here? What about that? Like, so just bump me and what I want to do.
I think though, I do believe in free will. I do believe that's a thing. I think in matters of love and everything else. But I definitely feel like for my life particularly, there's definitely some things that like are ordained or like destined. I don't like using the word destined because it makes it sound so big and dramatic. Like, oh, you are the high priestess type thing. But I just mean like there's definitely certain things in my life that I was like, that makes no logical sense that's how that came out. That makes no logical sense that I ended up here. Like I can't explain it when I tell it to other people. They're just like that. Yeah, no, that don't know why that's a thing. And sometimes that can be with like simple things like jobs or people. I dated a guy that me and him crisscrossed each other all the time before we met. Like he used to live in the city I used to live in. And when he was in my home state, I was in his home state. When I went back to my home state, he went back to his home state. And we did that for like, when we finally met, we realized like, hold on, you was in town at the same time I was in town. And you went to the homecoming. That's a lie, y'all. I don't know nothing about homecoming. But, things like that where I'm just like, that felt more than coincidental. Mm-hmm. That felt like universe, like free will. But the universe multiple times was like, I need y'all to fucking meet so y'all can just learn this lesson. Please, you can learn this at 19, Rest. You want to learn it at 29? All right, okay. Well, don't turn around and see who's standing behind you. Make this horrible decision at 28, 29.
So for you, is it romantic to think of having having a soulmate?
Yeah, Yeah, it is. It is. I got some heavy Scorpio placements. I got a lot of Pluto on my chart. So possession is like, yeah, or so romantic. I know. Fix your face. First of all, fix your face. Fix your face. It is I don't judge you and your kinks. Don't judge me.
Okay, I didn't realize it was a kink. Okay.
Okay. No, but I really, really do like the idea of like, there's this person for you. There's this twin flame out there. There's this person that mirrors you, that is supposed to find you. When y'all come together, the whole universe comes to a stop. Like, it's romantic as fuck to me. Which is why I don't like being in love, because I like those type of extremes.
Yes, we've heard the extremes, and again, dream big, y'all. Why not?
I just want y'all to know, as she's saying that, she had one eyebrow up, just cocked to the side, like, if this is what y'all out here doing, I mean,
by all means, look, I learn to dream big from others all the time.
So for you, it's more like, no, it's just people, and I could just pick one of the people, and it could be any of the people.
Like, I believe in the orders of things, so it's not absurd, but I definitely don't think it's like a particular, like, this is the, no.
Well, okay, I will say, I do believe in plan Bs, because I do believe you do have free will. You have free will. And I think whoever you believe in, whatever you believe in, when they're making all these life plans for us, however it works, they are very aware, like, okay, we're going to give her these options. We're going to make it very clear option A is the best option. Y'all know she likes option B. Like, we know she likes option B. So let's just, okay. If option A gets tired of her bullshit, let's make sure we have a backup person so we don't get stuck holding this person on. I low-key really do believe that. Like, for example, if your destiny, right, is to save the world with your partner, right? You and your partner are in a divine union. You're supposed to come together, save the world, bring peace, balance out feminine and masculine energy, y'all. Right? His name is Tyrone. Tyrone be on some bullshit. And in order for y'all to come together and save the world, he just got to leave his trifling ex alone, but he won't. And we are now getting tired, and we like, I don't want this messiness. And Tyrone don't act right. Does that mean that now the universe won't be restored because Tyrone ass can't leave Brittany alone? No, I don't think that's how it works. I think they like, all right, cool. Curtis in now. And they just sip you on. There's a backup plan somewhere.
See, then people need to believe that happens. Because when you were saying that, I was like, see, that's how people get stuck in that mindset of like, but he's my soulmate, or she's my soulmate, or love. Even when it's like 1 + 1 is giving you 5. How did 3 other people get here? That's not how that's supposed to be. That's not what, anyway.
Like, you with all your greatness, all your royalty, thought the universe, like, yeah, you with all your ambition and your royalness and your softness and your communication skills, thought the universe was gonna see in you this man that don't like to bathe and ain't got no ambition. The universe saw you and told you, yeah, that's your soulmate. I'll ask them to send in the backup plan.
That's like when you see those memes where they're like, I don't know who your soulmate is, but it's not that woman's husband, sis.
Look, it's not somebody that don't want you too.
Right. And not someone you have to beg, borrow, and steal for.
So with that said, you are on team like romance. Don't think you're necessarily soulmates. I just think, it's people, man. You just meet the people. You love the people. Me, on the other hand, I am very much team. No, when we meet, our whole souls will be on fire. So like eyes will cross the room. We'll be able to feel each other's presence. I'm really talking about some Hitchcock stuff with what's that Hitchcock with Will Smith and then the white lady. And they can't be together because their bond is so strong it tears down the world.
Wait, what? Oh, Hancock. No, that wasn't. Was that Hancock? That was Hancock.
Yeah. That's what I love. I'm just talking about the intensity and magnitude. But I will say, when I think about it though, me and you have very different dating patterns. Where I feel like I've been in dating situations and I have brought like certain things up to you and I was like, yeah, I don't think it's gonna work, blah, blah, blah. And you're just like, that's normal. And I'm like, nope, my heart is not on fire. It's not normal. That is not.
I mean, yeah, but we also have, as we've talked about plenty of times, just very different views of love. And I think one thing we've talked about that I've said to you before is I feel like you feel owed something for your love. You're like, because I love you, I must feel it need it like it. And I don't have that. I'm just like, I
feel owed. I feel like I like to control it. I like to control it. It's not that I feel owed. It's just like I would like to be orchestrating the love.
Like, because I love you.
Because I love you, I guess you can get a participation trophy, but I would like to conduct it. But those are things that's some shadow side of me stuff that I'm working through and learning to let go of. I think I have done all that I can do by myself. And at this point,
yeah, I mean, it's all theory until,
Yeah, it's all theory. It's all theory.
I can say, and that's the re-entering the dating world, in a more healed state, is what the heck does that even look like? Because there are lots of things that, I can say, this is how I'd like to handle the situation. And I know, one, I think that is kind of step one, is knowing, like, as an individual, like how I want to handle things, or what I think about certain things, what I want, so that is not swayed by another person. But I do wonder, like, I can't help but hear the faint whisper of, like, dating, the ghost of dating past, and being like, am I about to get out here and be disappointed? Am I about to get out here and, have foolishness? But it is a faint whisper. It is not a strong feeling. And I brush it off, and I'm like, there's no, because I'm more healed, and therefore I'm going to attract something different this time around. But I do think, like, oh gosh, but we test all this, what is it really?
Yeah. I am, like, terrified to go out here and test it and realize I am a fraud. Like, the next episode after, like, my next first date is gonna come back and be like, y'all, I was wrong. I was wrong. What is that Summer Walker song? I'd be so sick of these.
Mm-hmm.
And I was wrong about loving and trusting them. Just scratch everything I have ever said about that. There's definitely a fear that was going to happen.
For me, it's, but that's why I don't believe in, like, wanting to hope for that one, because what are the odds? But, I guess if you, believe that all things are tied and what have you, then you're like, well, because you can't miss what's for you. I mean, my philosophy in life does go all the way from, we are an insignificant speck of dust in all of the universe, and being like, we are divine. And I have these two very, like, and I can, depending on the day, swing within that. And I probably think of love in the same way sometimes too. But I always like for it to be open and free.
Yeah, there's definitely for me a fear that a lot of things that I think are healed are just in dormant.
Oh, that's honest.
And one of y'all dusty sons gonna come poking around a volcano, and I'm gonna realize not as healed as I thought.
No, we are inviting the healed man again.
But here's the thing: a man can be healed and still trigger you.
Yeah.
So
vulnerability, I don't know, learning this stuff, I don't know, I'm just ready for it.
I don't care. Sign me up.
Let's do this work. Let's figure something. I'm trying to grow. Come on. Not rushing though, because I'm not coming from, but anyway.
I don't know. I was looking into astrology shit, because that's what I do. And I was, like, looking up a particular aspect in my chart, and I was like, because that sounds nothing like me, and I'm just like, I don't how would that work? But I am open to the challenge.
Poking around in charts, I just
universe, send me your best man, see if he can knock down the codes. The only consolation prize, though, is me. So he also needs to be okay with that.
Like, I've been scared off from poking around in birth charts. Maybe that's why I'm like, I don't, just let it be free love.
What birth chart hurt you?
When I had my first, ever one, and what was the two marriages had me shook. Just the fact that she was like, oh, you have the possibility of having, I mean, she said a lot of things, and probably if I went back and listened to it with a clearer state of mind, when you're getting these things done, it can feel very like, who, what, where, what are you talking about? And you'd be so wrapped up in your own questions that you're not really listening. So, anywho, but I remember she said something about, having the possibility of two marriages. And she was like, but, if you, like, basically, if you choose right the first time, then you won't get divorced. And I was like, well, what kind of foolishness is that? Like, who says stuff like that? It was just it just upset me to think about, because I was like, I, as someone who definitely is clearly waiting to, well, will be partnering later in life. It's like, I don't want to have taken all of this time and then end up potentially divorce. And she just was saying foolishness, like, well, don't just get married because of a child. What are you talking about, lady? Like,
what did I just say? Hold on. Did not recognize that.
La 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 la. La 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 la. I don't want to hear it.
Okay.
This is what I'm talking about. That's why I just want to just frolic.
So more than one person has told you that. Anyways, interesting.
More than one person has told me lots of things. That's the issue. It's no fun having all this information.
Oh, word. There is the like downside to like going to like psychics or astrologists and getting like predictions and stuff. And it's like, even if it's great or it's bad, it's like, what can I do with this information but panic until it comes?
Like, you the one who came and asked for it. You could have just been patient and lived out your life and believed that all that was good would come to you. But no, you came and you asked. So here you are. That's how I feel that my experience has been. So I'm not asking no more.
She really has had just interesting psychic experiences. Because they were valid. They were just you would actually was just going in there like, tell me about my prince and my happily ever after and the hill and the blah blah blah. And I was like, I mean, okay, so how much you like bullshit? Like, let's start there. You gonna get this stuff, but let me tell you about this other bullshit.
Oh gosh. Oh, that one. Yeah. It's when you get the message that is being sent versus what you're actually wanting to know. So there have been times I've gone in and said, tell me about my love life. And they're like, so your career is going to be fabulous. You are going to, and I'm like, oh, my man. And then when I've been more of the mind of, I'm trying to, change my life in this direction, or I'm concerned with my career, then it's like, oh, this man. I'm like,
oh my gosh, yeah.
Hear about him.
That is the last
I'm broke. No.
The last time I got any type of reading done, I was like, money, career, what's going on with my side ventures, and they were like, I'm gonna get to that in a minute because this man just keep popping on up. We don't talk about him, and I'm like, it's fine. He can meet me whenever. I very much would like to know about my financial situation right now.
I'm worried about some other stuff. So, but anywho,
I think we touch on topics of intimacy and romance and incorporate it in your life, whether it is through your own means, through somebody else, or the spiritual world, because they stay trying to do love connections. I think the biggest thing and biggest emphasis I feel like I'm walking away with this is dream big.
Dream big.
Dream big. Allow yourself to want what you want, and allow yourself to indulge and give. It is a beautiful feeling to also give and be romantic to your partner as well. So yeah, I think we are officially supporting Team Girl Go Back Out There and Date. I know what it looks like. I'm in Atlanta, I get it. But let's date consciously. And I don't mean Grand Rising Brothers. I mean, just let's date with in mind what our triggers are, what we want, and if this person can actually give it to us. And that's what has my vote.
Okay. All right. Intentional dating with expectations. I don't know. That just sounds like, dating with, because I've always been you have expectations. That's how you just get upset.
Ooh, if the cup wasn't already half empty. That's what that response was.
It's my biggest, my takeaway from it is, I'm with you. I'm about to be, I'm get out there, girl. Team get out there. Team go where the love is. Team expect what feels good. Team soft life. And it's okay to dream big. Absolutely.
Okay. I want an essay from you by next week on what your dream bigs are now.
Oh.
I want your dream proposal. I want to know it. detailed scenarios. I want to be prepared for you. I'm already 3 other women's. Make sure he knows.
So maybe that's another step. That's like crossing a threshold. Like that's one of those things that's like I might have I'm not. This is all growth for me.
Baby steps.
Baby steps, because even stuff like I have an idea of my so-called dream. I don't tell nobody. Why would I tell somebody that I think about being proposed to? That is so girly. No. Like, why would I tell anybody that sometimes wedding dresses come across my Instagram and I go down a rabbit hole and pick out the one I like? Like, that is no, that's too. So,
like I said, I want an essay.
Right. Like I can share these thoughts, but yeah. Maybe it's part of my growth.
Part of your growth is dreaming big.
I will claim.
And yours could be something simple like finding a ring.
I know what I want. I know my dream proposal. I know what my dream proposal is.
Are you gonna tell me offline?
I don't.
I just shared with the whole entire world mine.
Yeah, I'll tell you.
Beautiful house. Tell me it's not our house. No, all the things I want in the house.
It's definitely not ours.
And then when I get there, not big rings. I actually don't like big rings. I don't like gaudy rings. Nice emerald cut, morganite, rose gold ring.
I want that.
Yeah. And just there.
Mm-hmm. I don't know what my deal is. It feels like it's like tainted when you say it out loud, or it's something like, I don't know, but
has holding it in preserved it?
I don't know, maybe, because no one knows. So he'll come along one day, he's just gonna know. It's gonna get pulled out in my mind. You're right. Yes, you have to tell people what you want. So, I mean, my dream proposal involves like some type of like music or something. Like in my cheesiest of dreams, it is like we're out for a walk or something and we like pass, I don't know, a doo-wop group or something. Like somebody sings. Yeah, and we're like, oh my gosh, look at this. And it's cool. I'm gonna stop and listen because I love music. And then they're singing to me. Oh my God, this is a proposal.
I love it. I know why you're like giggling, because I would have never expected that from you. I would have never in a million years expected that from you.
Too much to be telling me.
Universe, do your thing. Make it happen. Make it happen.
I'm still working on my tough exterior. And when I was dating someone, I kept telling, I was like, I'm dainty. And he would laugh and say, I think of you as a lot of things and dainty is not one of them. But like, I want to be dainty. But that's it. You got me to say it.
I'm glad that we done sent that out in the universe. Our Powerpuff Girl activations gonna unite. You know, we got this.
All right, guys. I hope that y'all enjoyed this episode of She Wolf Alchemy.
We'll have a new episode for you guys on Sunday. In the meantime, follow our Instagram page at She Wolf Alchemy. You can reach us at shewolfalchemypodcast@gmail.com. Other than that, guys, bye.
Bye.